Have you ever felt someone's heart beating for you, even when they can't say a word? Broken face, even when silence stretches between you, their soul keeps whispering your name. And somehow you know it's forbidden. This isn't about fantasy or fleeting attraction. It's that pull, that magnetic pull. The kind that leaves you breathless, remembering a connection that feels like it existed long before this lifetime. If this resonates, if your heart knows this story, leave a comment and let me know, because I feel you right here. And in just a moment, you'll discover why this love stays hidden, why they're silent, and why no matter what, the bond hasn't broke. You feel it, don't you? That quiet pull, almost like a gentle tug at the edges of your awareness. You've sensed it before, moments when the world pauses for a fraction of a breath, and suddenly, there's a presence in your thoughts that shouldn't be there. Someone who has been walking beside your memory long before words ever reach the air between you. They are a shadow in the corner of your mind, a whisper that lingers in the pauses of your day, subtle but undeniable. And even when you tell yourself it's nothing, the universe has a way of proving otherwise, Aquarius. It's not just longing, it's magnetic. You know that feeling, the one where your chest tightens and your heartbeat skips in a rhythm that feels both familiar and impossible to define. That's the thread connecting you to them, unseen, unbroken. A cord that doesn't obey distance, logic, or circumstance. It is the kind of connection that makes time bend in strange ways, that makes a song on the radio feel like it was written for this exact moment between you two. Have you ever wondered why some memories cling to you so vividly, like they're trying to tell you a secret you've always known but have never named? They are watching, quietly, from the edges of your life. Perhaps you don't notice, or maybe you do in small flashes, a glance from across the room, an echo of laughter, a déjà vu that makes your chest tighten. They are always present in the invisible corners of your experience, Aquarius, and it's more than desire. It's a kind of devotion that doesn't shout but speaks in patterns, in synchronicities, in the way the sunlight hits a wall just as you think of them. Every heartbeat, every small sign, is a reminder that they are tethered to your spirit. And yet there is the ache, the unspoken tension of a love that cannot be fully expressed. Because the world isn't ready, or perhaps you're not ready, or maybe circumstances are simply cruel in their timing. Every hesitation, every quiet moment, is their way of protecting you both from the pain that might come if they step too close. You might think it's absence, but it is, in truth, care wrapped in restraint, a love carefully folded into the spaces where words fail. But Aquarius, there's beauty in this restraint. It teaches patience, it reveals depth. It forces both of you to feel without possession, to observe without control. And here's the extraordinary part: in this quiet, in this careful distance, your connection strengthens. It becomes a living, breathing entity that thrives not in possession, but in recognition. You see each other in ways no one else can, in moments so small, they almost feel sacred. Have you noticed how certain thoughts of them leave you inexplicably lighter, even amidst the ache? That is the magic of invisible bonds. And perhaps this is the most profound truth: they exist in the same spaces you do, thinking of you not with selfish longing, but with a reverence that transcends time. Every dream you can't explain, every moment of déjà vu, every heartbeat that echoes their name, these are not coincidences, Aquarius. They are whispers from a love that refuses to fade, a love that is patient, enduring, and unafraid to wait for the moment when the universe finally aligns. So I ask you softly, as if sharing a secret, can you feel it? That thread pulling you toward a presence you cannot name, yet one that has always known you. Let yourself listen closely. The story is far from over, and in the stillness, you might just catch the next breath of something extraordinary. Do you feel it, Aquarius? That quiet, insistent pull that seems to thread itself through every corner of your life, even when nothing visible draws you toward them. It is not about choice. It is about something far older, far deeper, almost like a river running beneath your awareness, unnoticed yet unstoppable. You can go days without seeing them, and still, your mind wanders effortlessly to moments that have never happened but feel inevitable, as if you have walked this path together before. There is a gravity here that defies reason. You may catch yourself pausing mid-thought, sensing them in the smallest flickers of life, a song playing out of nowhere, a scent on the breeze, the angle of sunlight through a window that sends a shiver through your spine. These are not accidents. They are subtle cosmic nudges, echoes of a connection that refuses to be forgotten. Every time the world feels ordinary, you sense the extraordinary quietly woven into it, and without saying it aloud, that your souls recognize each other beyond time. Even in silence, their energy moves around you. You might find a fleeting memory appearing at the edge of your mind, a fragment of laughter, a phrase that seems familiar but you cannot place. It is as if the universe is reminding you both of what has always existed, quietly persistent, waiting for acknowledgement. How strange it is to feel someone's presence without them being there physically, to have their absence feel heavier than any distance could allow. And yet, there is tenderness in this invisibility. It is not empty longing. It is reverent attention, a careful watching, a knowing that sometimes the strongest love is expressed through restraint. They are present in the pauses of your life, Aquarius, in the quiet breath before dawn, in the unspoken smiles that surface when you least expect it. You might feel them most when the world feels stillest, when ordinary moments stretch long enough for their essence to seep in. Have you noticed how certain days, certain sunsets, seem to carry a subtle signature of their existence? This connection is both haunting and healing. It teaches patience. It teaches faith in what cannot yet be held. Every subtle sign, every coincidence that feels too deliberate to be random, is a reminder that love does not always need to speak to be real. They are here, Aquarius. They are thinking, feeling, noticing, even when silence is all that is permitted. And the beauty of it is that you are doing the same in your own way. Two souls, tracing the same invisible thread, learning to exist alongside each other even when the world has set boundaries. It is in these quiet, unseen interactions that the depth of your bond grows. You carry pieces of them with you, and they carry pieces of you in ways that are invisible to anyone else. And so, the question lingers softly, like a breeze in the night. Can you sense how much of your life is already intertwined with theirs, even in moments you thought were solitary? The answer is in the subtle pull, in the gentle insistence that, no matter the silence, you are never truly apart. Aquarius, there are days when their absence feels like a weight pressing gently but insistently on your chest. You sense it even if you cannot name it, a quiet ache that hums beneath the surface of your daily life. They are there in your periphery, in the corners of your world you thought were private. Maybe you notice them in the laughter of a stranger, or in the unexpected call of a memory that washes over you like a soft tide. And yet, they remain distant, a presence you can feel but cannot touch, a love that must tread lightly in shadows. The boundaries that hold them back are not cruel, but deliberate. A life intertwined with obligations, with commitments they cannot abandon, with circumstances that defy desire. There is distance that stretches longer than the eyes can see, and responsibilities that weigh heavier than the heart can carry. And in this careful silence, there is a fierce tenderness, a protection not for themselves but for you. They shield you from scrutiny, from the quiet judgments of the world that would never understand what blooms in hidden spaces. Sometimes, you might glimpse them watching from afar, not in a way that startles or frightens, but with the quiet vigilance of someone who loves without expectation. They notice the way your eyes light up when the sun catches them just so. They see your laughter ripple across a room and feel a pang of longing sharpen like a cold wind against their ribs. You are happy, Aquarius, and it should bring them joy, yet it brings the bittersweet ache of distance, the ache of a love that cannot fully claim the daylight. It is this ache that shapes them, that shapes the love they carry for you. It is a love that learns restraint, that measures every thought and every impulse against a careful moral compass. And yet, even in the restraint, there is devotion. A devotion so deep it leaves traces in your own life. In the subtle ways you notice their fingerprints on your day's little coincidences that feel orchestrated, moments when the universe seems to hum softly, reminding you of the connection that exists even in silence. Have you ever felt someone's gaze from miles away, not physically, but across time, across circumstance, as if your lives were running parallel lines destined to brush but never fully meet? That is the reality they navigate each day. A love that thrives in shadows, yet refuses to fade. They are present in the invisible, Aquarius, in the heartbeat between moments, in the quiet sigh of wind through the trees, in the unspoken longing that threads through the spaces you occupy. And in that longing, there is a strange kind of beauty. For it teaches patience, teaches the value of hidden devotion, of love that survives without applause or recognition. You are part of their quiet courage, a reminder of what it means to love without claiming, to hold someone in your heart without possession. And so, you might wonder softly, in those quiet moments before sleep, how much of love is meant to be lived openly, and how much is meant to be cherished in secret, where it can grow pure and unbroken, waiting for the day it may be fully recognized. Aquarius, in the quiet moments, they feel a hollowness that no distraction can fully fill. It is not just missing you, it is the absence of what could have been, the life they imagine in the shadows of possibility. They carry memories that were never fully lived, moments of laughter and closeness that exist only in the delicate architecture of their mind. And yet, even in that ache, there is a fragile hope, a thread that refuses to snap, holding their heart gently but firmly to yours. Sometimes they close their eyes and see you as though you were there, not in the distance but just beyond their reach, in a world where constraints do not exist. They remember the way your eyes light up when you notice a small kindness, the way your smile seems to embrace everything around you, not just the people in it. There is a meticulous tenderness in their recollection, a way they hold every detail of you as if storing a piece of sunlight in the corners of their soul. Even the smallest things become sacred markers of your existence. The tilt of your head when you laugh at something ordinary, the rhythm of your voice when you speak to someone without expecting anything in return, these are the fragments they replay like a secret melody that only they can hear. And in these fragments, Aquarius, they find a bittersweet comfort, a reminder that connection is not always visible, yet it is profoundly real. Their longing is not frantic or desperate. It is a deep, simmering awareness that life is unfolding in parallel to their desire. They honor the distance, the impossibility, yet they allow themselves to dream, quietly, of moments where your presence might intersect with theirs, even if only in the whispers of memory or in fleeting glances that the universe arranges. It is in this dreaming that they find a kind of solace, a knowing that love, even when hidden, does not diminish. Have you ever held a thought so delicately, Aquarius, that it feels like a fragile treasure, a secret kept between your heart and the stars? That is what they do with you. They carry the weight of your essence with gentle reverence, protecting it, cherishing it, even when it brings a silent ache that echoes through the corridors of their days. And in this space between absence and remembrance, they cultivate a subtle courage. A courage that allows love to exist without claiming, to persist without demand, to glow quietly in the unseen corners of life. Every sigh, every flicker of memory is a testament to a devotion that time cannot erode. And so, in that quiet meditation, in the gentle observation of the world from afar, they wonder softly, can the soul recognize another without ever touching, and still feel complete, knowing that love has the power to endure across any distance, through any silence? Aquarius, imagine the weight of words you long to speak, held tightly behind lips that tremble with the desire to reveal, yet cannot. Every glance you wish to steal, every touch you yearn to offer, is measured against the boundaries that life has placed. Distance, circumstance, and the invisible rules of the world press against them, and they learn, slowly, that love sometimes must exist quietly, in the small spaces between what is permitted and what the heart demands. They rehearse conversations that will never take place, tracing the curve of your name on their lips as though the sound itself could bridge the gap. And yet, they hold back not because the longing is absent, but because exposing it could unravel the delicate balance they struggle to maintain. There is a tension that vibrates through their being, a silent tug of war between the instinct to reach for you and the reason that whispers caution. It is a feeling that leaves their chest heavy and their mind restless, a subtle ache that only grows sharper in the solitude of night. Still, Aquarius, they find ways to communicate without words, to imprint their presence in ways you may never see. A melody chosen just for you, a letter drafted and never sent, a gesture so quietly intentional that only the universe witnesses it. It is their way of carving a secret path to you, leaving traces of themselves like breadcrumbs along the unseen corridors of your life. Even the smallest act carries the weight of a confession, though it is wrapped in silence, a language only the soul can comprehend. They watch from afar, attuned to the rhythms of your world, attuned to the moments when you might be thinking of them too. Every smile you share, every casual laugh, is a pulse that resonates with their own heartbeat, a reminder that connection, though constrained, is still alive. And in this careful dance of restraint, they experience a profound paradox. The more they contain, the more vividly their love expresses itself, stretching across the unseen, bridging the impossible. Have you ever felt, Aquarius, that a presence could be felt without ever being acknowledged? That someone's essence can touch you even when proximity is denied? This is the landscape of their heart, a terrain of longing and subtle gestures, a delicate balance of reverence and desire. They navigate it with patience, for they understand that true love sometimes asks us to wait, to endure the quiet tension, and to honor the spaces where vulnerability is both a risk and a gift. In these unseen acts, there is a sacred kind of intimacy, one that does not need an audience, one that thrives in the stillness between two souls. It is here that they reveal themselves fully, not through words, but through intention and careful devotion. And as you listen now, perhaps you can sense it too, the silent pulse, the unseen presence, and the gentle question that lingers in the air: how much love can exist when it must remain unspoken, and yet still illuminates every corner of a waiting heart. Aquarius, even in the thickest shadows, there are whispers of light, subtle, fleeting, yet undeniable. It creeps in quietly, like the first hints of dawn brushing the horizon, remind you that even when the world feels heavy, there are connections that refuse to fade. They feel it too, in ways that are almost imperceptible, in the spaces between moments, in a heartbeat that quickens without reason. You may not notice, but the universe conspires in gentle ways, leaving them glimpses of hope in ordinary days, small signs that your story is far from over. They imagine it, often when no one is watching, the two of you crossing the boundaries that life insists upon, finding one another in places thought impossible. In their mind, your laughter mingles with theirs, your eyes meet theirs across a crowded room or an empty street, and for a moment, everything else falls away. It is a vision that sustains them, a reminder that love, even restrained, holds a map to the future. And sometimes, Aquarius, the strangest things happen. They catch themselves thinking of you at the oddest times, in moments meant for work, for routine, even when they thought their mind was elsewhere. And the shock of it is always the same. They realize they cannot forget you. Not ever. There is a quiet awe in this acknowledgement, a soft kind of surrender. They are stunned not by the intensity of their feelings alone, but by the realization that your presence has etched itself into the very fabric of their days. A song drifts through a memory, and suddenly your smile is there again, unbidden, bringing warmth where only restraint had existed. A scent, a place, a fleeting glance from a stranger, anything can ripple through their mind, reminding them that love, when real, finds ways to linger. And yet there is patience in this light. They know it is not theirs to rush. Every flicker of connection is a promise of something greater, a message from the universe that timing is part of the story, that life's twists and turns are shaping the perfect moment for hearts like yours and theirs to meet fully, without fear or regret. In these quiet, glowing instants, Aquarius, they are learning that hope is not passive, it is alive, moving, breathing, guiding them through the silence. So I ask you softly, as you feel this presence brushing against your own heart, have you ever noticed how certain people remain, not by force, but by the inevitability of spirit? Could it be that even across distance, even through unseen barriers, love has a way of lighting the path for those who dare to trust it? And as this light stretches, subtle and persistent, it beckons the heart to imagine the impossible, to embrace the notion that what feels forbidden now may one day be celebrated in the quiet certainty of destiny. There is a beauty in realizing that every pause, every moment of waiting, is preparing both souls for a reunion that will feel inevitable, as if written in the stars themselves. Aquarius, sometimes love moves like shadows, silent, deliberate, almost invisible. They are there, yet unseen, weaving their intentions carefully, knowing that every gesture must honor the delicate balance of life around them. It is a patient kind of devotion, one that does not demand recognition, but rather waits quietly, gathering strength in the unseen corners of the day. You may never realize it, but in every whispered thought and stolen glance, they are mapping the possibilities, tracing a path that leads inevitably back to you. Their mind is a landscape of what-ifs, each one carefully measured, each one a possibility for a future that honors both your freedom and their own. There is no rush, Aquarius, because time itself seems to bend for hearts like theirs, hearts that understand that true love does not vanish, it only hides until the moment is right. In this hidden space, they find ways to remain close to you without crossing boundaries, noticing the smallest details, a laugh carried on the wind, a pattern in the clouds that reminds them of your presence, a song that echoes your smile. Each sign, no matter how small, becomes a thread connecting them to your soul, and in these threads they act quietly. A book left on a park bench, a note tucked into a library card, a melody played softly at the edge of a crowded room, these are the whispers of their intention, delicate as the touch of sunlight on water. They hope these subtle movements are felt, even if not fully seen. There is a sacred rhythm to their actions, a slow unfolding that honors the boundaries that life has set. It is an intimate dance of waiting and watching, an art form of devotion that only those with cosmic insight could ever perceive. Every day, they scan the horizon for signals, small opportunities to reconnect without disruption. A chance encounter, a familiar street, even a fleeting smile in passing becomes a note in the ongoing song of your connection. Aquarius, it is as if the universe itself conspires to leave breadcrumbs, guiding both hearts with precision, reminding them that love does not always demand immediate presence. Sometimes it requires the discipline of patience. And yet, there is a spark of daring, a willingness to test the limits of chance, to create moments that might align fate with desire. They balance on the edge of intention and serendipity, carefully considering each step, each gesture, knowing that timing can transform hesitation into destiny. This quiet orchestration, though invisible, is infused with longing, with hope, with the promise that what is hidden now may one day shine brilliantly in the open. So I ask you softly, Aquarius, as you listen and feel this hidden devotion, can you sense when love is moving gently around you, unseen but profoundly present? Could it be that even in the silence, hearts are speaking, planning, waiting for the perfect alignment to reveal what was always meant to be? And as these subtle movements unfold, you may notice that what once seemed dormant is alive, vibrant, and quietly unstoppable, a love preparing silently for the right moment to step into your life fully, without fear, without compromise, yet with all the depth it has gathered in the shadows. Aquarius, sometimes silence carries a weight that words cannot touch. Yet it is in that very quiet that the universe prepares something extraordinary. You may not notice, but every choice, every moment of patience, every unspoken thought has been building a path toward a reunion that feels both inevitable and sacred. It is as if time itself bends gently, guiding two hearts that refuse to let go, whispering that love of this depth does not simply fade, it transforms, becoming stronger, more resilient, more luminous in the stillness. They dream quietly of the day when all barriers dissolve, when distance, circumstance, and hesitation no longer hold sway. And in these dreams, they do not see themselves as separate from you, they are connected, intertwined in ways that feel both familiar and otherworldly, as if the soul remembers what the mind has yet to grasp. Every fleeting thought of you, every memory, becomes a spark, lighting the path forward through moments of uncertainty. You see, Aquarius, this love has a rhythm beyond ordinary time, a pulse that beats even when unseen. It teaches patience, yes, but also courage, the courage to wait without resentment, to hope without expectation, and to honor the journey of both hearts, even when they move through shadows before they find the sun. There is a subtle power in this devotion, one that whispers that true connection is not measured by proximity or words, but by the enduring presence that persists across moments, across years. And yet, there is anticipation, quiet but insistent. They imagine future conversations where laughter flows freely, where touches are no longer tentative, where presence itself becomes a sanctuary. In the small gestures they've made gifts sent unseen, melodies carried across silent streets, glances captured in memory they have been quietly preparing, planting seeds for a garden of connection that can finally bloom. Every act, though hidden, is a testament to the depth of feeling, a promise that when the right moment arrives, it will be met with integrity, warmth, and unwavering devotion. So, Aquarius, I invite you to feel this with them, to consider how your own heart responds to the quiet persistence of love. Could it be that some connections are meant to wait, to grow beneath the surface until the timing is perfect? Can you sense the invisible threads, the subtle guidance of fate, drawing you toward a place where hearts align not by chance, but by the deliberate unfolding of time itself? And as you sit with that thought, allow a quiet smile to form, a sense of reassurance that nothing has been lost. The story is not ending, it is evolving. And when the moment comes, when two souls finally converge, the depth of what has been preserved in silence will shine brighter than anything you could have imagined. There is hope, Aquarius, infinite and tender, and it moves always toward the light, toward connection, toward a love that carries all the lessons of the past into a future that is entirely yours to share. Aquarius, as we pause in this quiet moment together, take a deep breath and feel it, the weight of unspoken love, the pulse of hearts tethered across time and distance. It is here, in this gentle pause, that the truth settles softly, that love which cannot speak freely does not vanish. It transforms, it whispers. It waits, not as a burden, but as a sacred trust, a promise that the soul knows even when the mind cannot fully comprehend. Perhaps you felt it too, the flicker of memory, a sudden thought that surprises you, a dream that lingers after waking. These are not mere coincidences. They are signs, delicate but persistent, that even in silence, connection lives. And in knowing this, Aquarius, you are invited to honor your own heart, to trust your intuition, to embrace the parts of yourself that feel unseen, unheard, yet deeply known. There is a magic in patience, a gentle power in understanding that timing shapes love as much as intention. Imagine the one who thinks of you quietly, who treasures every detail, every nuance of who you are. They are moving through shadows and hesitations, not to hide, but to protect the light that you both carry. And in that, there is a lesson for you, the courage to love with clarity, the wisdom to wait without fear, the grace to honor the invisible threads that hold two souls together. Take a moment now, Aquarius, and feel it in your chest, a warmth, a recognition. You are not alone in this, and neither are they. Your experiences, your memories, the longing that you carry are part of a tapestry that stretches beyond the limits of time and circumstance. Each heartbeat, each sigh, each quiet choice is a step toward a greater understanding, a deeper compassion, and a more radiant love than you may have imagined possible. And here, at the edge of this moment, let a smile come softly to your lips. Know that the story does not end here. There is more to explore, more to awaken, and more to heal. Share your thoughts, your experiences, your reflections in the comments. Let this community, your Aquarius family, feel the warmth of your voice, your story, your heart. Subscribe, not just for more messages, but to continue this journey of understanding and connection together. As we part for now, remember that love, even when unspoken, has its own rhythm, its own wisdom, and its own way of bringing light to our lives. And while this chapter closes, the journey continues. The next message is coming, carrying new insights, new awakenings, and the promise of connection that stretches far beyond what eyes can see. Aquarius, trust yourself. Trust the timing of your heart. And know that in every pause, every silence, there is hope, healing, and the quiet miracle of love waiting patiently for its moment to shine.